Hello. Sorry for the delay, I couldn't start any sooner. Still quite light outside. It would be even brighter if it wasn't this cloudy. Although the clouds do tend to refract the light, which is why you get a lot less sharp shadows when it's cloudy, because the light's coming from more different directions. So it can be brighter if you've got clouds, depending on the situation, if you're not in direct sunlight. However, in this case, because the clouds also, of course, absorb some of the light, it is actually, I think, darker than it would be if the clouds weren't there. But they are, so that doesn't matter. So, hello. Exclamation mark, stream title. Error, no stream title specified. Yes, I know. Oh, I see. Yes. XD, hey, whoa. Been a fortnight since the last game dev stream. Well, tomorrow it'll be a fortnight. True. What? Yeah, fortnight, 2 weeks. A fortnight. Ho? Oh yeah, looking forward to it as always. Oh, did you forget it was switched? Looking? Same. Loch Looking, Scotland. Yes, indeed. Conim Snoo, aka coming soon. Oh, I see. XD, hey. Conim Snoo, Scotland. Hey. Hi, hello. Today's great meteorological statement there. Very. Thank you. Yes. So, already got the stuff open in the background, which is also part of the reason why it took a little bit to get started this time. So, right. Okay. Okay. I'll switch over. Let's just make sure it actually switches over. Is it? Yes, it is good. Because one time it didn't, and that was, I think, when Twitch was having issues, or maybe it was OBS, I don't know. Long time ago, I clicked on the button. In OBS, it did display it. It did highlight the scene, not the scene, the element. Oh no, it was the scene. It did highlight the scene, and it didn't actually switch over there. Maybe I accidentally selected it somehow, I don't know. But since then, it's always worked. Right. Worked. It has, yep. It is the scene, yes. One time it didn't, and then I think I called you. Yeah, that's a different one. That time I just forgot to click it, but another time before that, a long time before that, that was before you had a Twitch account, I think. On the Milton Valley Railroad, it didn't actually work. Right. Oh, haha, yes. Hello, V'ger. Welcome. Sir Pello. Oig. No, it would be Oig. Hey, great stream. No, I did have a Twitch account when I called you during a stream. No, I meant before that. Because that time when you called me, I just had forgot to click the button. That time when it didn't actually switch over, even though I clicked the button, was a long time before that. That was before you had a Twitch account. That was when I was building some parts of the lake. When I was building the road down to the lake on the Milton Valley Railroad. Right, so. Oh, right, I need to change that. Okay, hold on. I need to change some things. No camera using. I think that's fine. Yeah, that's better. And to resave my default. So delete layout, my default, layout, save layout. Oh, there we go, my default. So, yeah, because I had to, just now, I had to put in all of the layout, basically. So, the windows, because you can actually, so these windows in Unity, you can actually move them around. So, for example, the scene view, if I wanted the scene view to be docked over here, I could make this one big window and then switch between the two, and you can do all this sort of stuff. And I did this a long time ago, when many years ago, I arranged it like this, because this is the best way I found to have it arranged for my workflow. But then, when I updated to this version of Unity, when I started this game, it kept throwing a couple of errors. Sometimes I couldn't, the inspector wouldn't display anything when I clicked on stuff. And I've looked up today what that's about, and one of the people in the forum recommended that it might have something to do with the layouts, and that oh, look at him, he's a giant, look out. But it might have something to do with the layouts, and that maybe some of the older saved layouts aren't compatible with the new Unity layouts, not completely anyway. So I had to reset the factory defaults of the layout and then rearrange it, and I just forgotten to change the camera thing. So, right. I have not been able to do any work on this game in the meantime, because I've been busy with other games, other projects that are a bit closer to being released. So it's still in the same state as it was before. As you can see, if I play the game, we've still got, I need to mute the audio. Right, because it's just got the default clonk type walking sounds, footsteps. So you can see, I've still got the grass, the ferns, everything. I've been able to do any work since then. And I really wasn't that sure what I wanted to do today, because usually I do some work off stream. Yeah, I do some work off stream, and when it's time for the stream, I usually continue that part on that I've been working on anyways. But because I've not been able to work on it, it's like, okay, where do I start? So I've got a couple of ideas. And quickly chat, that bit, yeah, just down the hill from Nothesea. Yes, indeed. Wrong spellage probs. Looks correct to me. You see, wait, what? BT dubs. I'll be able to watch to the end of the streams for about 2 weeks. Great. I mean, most of these streams are supposed to end at 10 anyway, so yay, great. Player walking, clonk, 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 clonk. Yeah, indeed. Scheiß, Strawpolas. I don't have any straw, unfortunately. Scheiß, would you ever do lore / plot writing of the game? 1 second. Okay, first of all, these are the default sounds for walking around with this character controller. So you can tell. Oh no, I haven't switched over one because I didn't expect we need sounds. 1 second. Let's switch over to that. So here, yeah, these are the default sounds for walking around. Obviously, they don't really fit with this ground, which is why I've been having the game muted for all of the streams, basically, just so that's not in the way. Right. First, would you ever do lore / plot writing of the game? Do you mean on stream? Do you mean that I explain part of the plot or write or do some stuff like that on stream? Or what do you mean? Because putting lore in the game, definitely. But, I mean, for example, the fact that this is called the Roman type maze, and also these braziers, where they come from and things like that, stuff like that, that's lore being put in the game, that's being written. As for writing actual plot on stream and doing stuff like that, no. I also won't go into detail on how the games are connected, because that would spoil it for people who want to play the game. Assuming there are people who want to play the game, which I think there are. There must be 1 or 2 people out there. Anyway, on stream, probs not. And BT dubs is a twist on BTW. What do you mean by BTW? Best to witness? I'm not sure what that means. So that theorists still have something to chew on. Not sure though. Also, what do you mean by BT dubs? BT. Oh yeah, that's fair enough. Although he could probably get away with writing the plot instead of the lore. No, the thing is, with a game like this, that has a lot of random generation in it, there's not that much concrete plot because things are random. Most of the things are random. In terms of plot, what you actually have to do, I've already said quite a bit. So the player's gone through some sort of portal, they've appeared here, probably from the Victorian times, might change it, and they have to find these Terran artifacts and burn them in these braziers to then get back to where they're going. So the thing is, just in case you need a quick refresher, when all of these braziers are lit, then the portal opens and the player can, if the player goes through it, they will go to a new level. If the flames are just normal flames, the player will go to the same level as before. However, it chooses one of these 8 braziers randomly, and then depending on what type of flame that one has, it will go to that type of level. So if you get 1 Terran artifact, you burn it on one of them, you've got a 1 in 8 chance to get to the place where you might be able to get home. But if that doesn't get chosen, then you've burned the artifact and you've basically you wasted it. So it's up to you to decide how many you want to chance it. Do you do it at 4, so you've got a 50-50 chance? Do you do it at 7, so you're just missing 1, and then you've got a 1 in 8 chance of just losing 7 Terran artifacts without any gain? Additionally, I might put something in that the player has to maybe put in, solve a puzzle or something at the end, so that the player, which also has a randomly generated result, so that the players will have to explore the world, the levels, to find out to find out what the solution to the puzzle will be. Otherwise, the player will just get dropped back in the world. So yeah, that's basically it for the plot at the moment. Lore, of course, there's a lot of different stuff there. A lot of stuff which I haven't said yet. Right. King Finger, I've already put it. He'll read it out. Maybe. Shadows, on stream, yeah. Oh yeah, I see it now. Never mind, my bad. Shadows, well, plot then. Just make sure not to say anything someone wouldn't know from playing the game. Well, maybe. Unless you don't want spoilers. Shadows, you said this was gonna be on Steam? Yes, it will be. But by the way, Shadows, really? You've never heard that? It's by the way. Oh, by the way. I see. No, I have heard it before. I just didn't recognize it as that. Shadows, or 1 or 2 people out there. I wonder who those people are. Exactly. Well, if it's on Steam, then me, when I get a Steam account. Shadows, will you be sprinkling clues into the games that give hints about when the game is set that is connected to other games of yours? Of course. If they're connected, then I will of course put clues in, otherwise you won't be able to piece it together. Shadows, I'd call that the mechanics of the game rather than the plot, but never mind. Well, no, not really. The mechanics are more what you use to play the game. So mechanics would be walking around, running, picking stuff up, putting stuff down. For example, in Portal, the mechanics are you've got a portal gun, you can make portals. So if you go in there, you come out the other side, but your momentum is aligned with that other portal. Those are the mechanics of that game. You've also got buttons, lasers, stuff like that. Those are the mechanics. But in terms of Portal, the plot, as far as I know, is you wake up as a test subject and then have to, escape, while simultaneously being chased and hunted to some extent by an AI that has become addicted to testing. That, I would say, is the plot. So here the plot is, you're a guy, or I know, probably a guy. I'm not sure if I'll do voice acting, then probably a guy, because otherwise I would have to get another voice actor to do a female voice. Yes, some individual who's gone through a portal, come here, and then has to get back by doing these things. That is I would say, the plot of the game. Maybe we've got slightly different definitions of the word plot then. I think I'll also get it once it's out. Shadows, and when you do get home, is that the end of the game? Will there be an ending cutscene or something? I don't know yet. Where, when the player is back to good old Victorian times? Well, good. Well, old, yes. Good is debatable. For some people, it was very good. For technology, it was very good. But there are also, of course, a lot of dark parts of Victorian times. And I mean quite a lot. Will you see what that looks like? A broad gauge train, maybe two. Who knows? I don't for now. Cliffhanger, that's when we find out it's either A, a dream, but Paradise isn't so cheap, or B, an endless cycle situation. Oh, right, nice. Shanice, you probably didn't recognize it as that because BTW was capitalized. Ah, maybe. Shanice, if it'll be on Steam, then I'll make sure to get it. I now have 2 games on my mental Steam list. Ah, 2 games. Congratulations. Oh, so, Shanice, my bad. No, not at all. Living Art and Ghostly Winter? Shanice, you'd probably have to get another voice actress if you're gonna have choosable channels. Well, no, because I don't have a voice actress yet. And if I get a voice actor whose voice can pass as female, then, well, that would be okay as well. But I think actress, yeah, probably better, yeah. Spoilers for Portal. Come on, it's an old game. I've already got Living Art as he gave it to me as a test game to, well, test. Yes, true. Ooh, nice. In terms of Steam, it's this and Turbo Dismount and possibly Subnautica sometime down the line. Oh, right. If I didn't have it already, I'd also put OMSI2 on mine. I think that it would be good to keep it ambiguous. To keep what ambiguous, do you mean? I should probably get started. So, what I want to do today, I've chosen, is I want to go towards getting to the point so that the player can complete the basic gameplay loop, which is go into a maze, find a Terran artifact. Maybe I'll change it so you don't need 1 Terran artifact. Maybe you'll need 1 from each type of level. That can be a thing I might do. But anyway, get a Terran artifact, and then, yeah, because I've already got it so that if you burn Terran artifacts, and if it chooses that Terran artifact, it teleports you to the end place, as I've called the scene. So once I've put it in so that I'm just going to do a basic rudimentary placeholder model. Maybe I'll just use a cube, actually. And then, so that when I've got that basic gameplay loop, then I can expand it and put stuff in between and stretch it and do all that sort of stuff and wind around corners and tie knots and all that sort of stuff. But I think I really need that focus with this specific game because it is a little bit all over the place at the moment. So, what have we got? Well, remember last time I worked on this bit, we got it so that it generates a table here. I'm going to use the same script, although actually it might be good to do a specific room that can contain one of these, because it's not going to be that satisfying to find if it's just somewhere around randomly. So, let's start that. Which means I need to go to the maze generator. Was it maze controller? No, it was maze generator. Right, here we go. So, I needed to generate Okay, this is all placeholder, by the way. The fact that it's gonna just... Okay, I want to make it so it generates a specific room which will contain the Terran artifact. Now this room, I'm going to make it so it's a list, so it has a random chance of spawning different rooms, each one with a different way of making it difficult to get the artifact. Maybe one of them is going to have some platforming, perhaps, although that might be a bit boring. Some puzzles, maybe, things like that. So it's not always the same room. And I do want to make it so that in not every maze generates one of these Terran artifact rooms. But at this point, I'm going to make it so every maze does it. So I need a new variable. Let's do public transform array Roman room. Let's do what should I call these? Artifact set, maybe that. Is that the correct spelling? It might be American or British difference. Artifact, let's see, British, artifact American, artifact British. Okay, that's good. So, okay, got that. So now here it, okay, here generates the maze itself, the texture, and then here it generates all of the rooms, depending on what situation it's in. It generates a different room. Quite hard to work with on this scale. Okay, so maybe I should put it in this. Okay, I'll put it in the when it generates the texture. So what is this? This is these are the walkers. So after the walkers have finished, I need to choose. Okay, let's do another for loop. Should I do for or should I do while? It just needs to find a white pixel and then check if there is an empty space somewhere, and if there is an empty space somewhere, put in let's say a blue pixel for the artifact room, and then if there isn't a space somewhere, choose another random space. So I guess I could do while, but that means I need to have a timeout. So otherwise you could freeze the computer, well, the application. Int t is equal to, well, let's do, yeah, t is equal to 0, while, let's do a bool as well. Bool placed, let's just do b. Well, no, let's do a, that's fine. Just as a placeholder name. So, while a is false, so while not a, should do the thing. Well, first of all, let's do t++. And then we need to do if t is larger than, let's say, we give it, say, 100 tries. If it's larger than 100, then we need to break, which just exits the loop. Right. So what do we do in here? Well, we need to find a... Actually, we need to go through the... Let's see, because it writes it to a texture. Should we just get a random... Well, no, if we get a random pixel, it would take ages, because most of it is black, so... I guess we could use the walker positions, so it would place it at the end of corridors, but... Would that work? Because if I could just use for loops to just go through every line of the texture, and then if it finds a white pixel, it chooses that one and then tries to put the room next to that one. However, that would mean that there is going to be that room is basically always going to spawn in the northwest of the maze, because if that's the direction that the check is coming from, so those are the pixels that it's going to find first. So we'd need to get a random one, but to get a random one, I would need to... that is a difficult thing to do. Just need to think about that for a moment. You know what, let's use... Although, how would we do it if... No, we have to use something like that, because if we just use... Because if we just use the ending point of the walkers, where the maze walkers end, then if it doesn't find a suitable position there, such as if it is in a loop or something like that, then it couldn't do anything further, because then we need to switch to random, looking for it randomly. I guess maybe we could... I was thinking maybe we could convert a white pixel to a blue pixel. However, that would mean I would need all of those combinations of connections between rooms as well. Maybe I should take a different approach. Maybe instead of putting a blue pixel on the map, maybe instead I just have it to have a random chance for a white pixel to, when it places a room, to instead place a artifact room, and then change a variable so it doesn't place another one in the same maze. But then again, I'd still have the issue of having to make all the connections. Unless I only spawn it in specific conditions. So if there is, for example, a connection to the south, then it has a chance of spawning it. But then we could get into an issue where the player comes from the north. If there's like a vertical line, there's a place, it chooses one pixel in the middle. If the entrance is to the north, then the player would be stuck, couldn't go in. If the place to the south, couldn't go in. Unless I just have modules in the room that can block off entrances or exits, so that it's got entrances on all four sides, and then it just checks on the texture if there is a black or a white pixel on its side, and then if there's a black pixel, so if there's nothing there, it just enables the wall module on the room to block off that entrance. That could work. I think that's probably the best solution, actually. So we do not need this bit down here anymore. So we need to go up here somewhere. Let's see. Right, so it goes along, and then goes along, goes along, goes along. And then, well, we still have the issue of having it be... I suppose although then... Okay, so this is a public texture. Which does not get overwritten at the end. So we keep it, which is good. So... because I'm trying to think, should I put that in this script? Because in this script, it's going through line by line by line. If it finds a white pixel, it's placing a room there. Which means that, again, it would place this new room in the northwest most pixel it can find. Well, technically the northernmost one, because, well, actually, well, it goes over, then it goes down, over and down, over and down. So no, it would go for the westmost pixel. And out of the, if there are multiples in that, then the northmost one. Which, if you're only after this bit, this thing, you could potentially be used for cheating. Also, I want it to be more random than that. So, I guess I could... okay, so I think there are two ways I can do this that come to mind at the moment. One is to loop through all of the pixels, put each white pixel coordinate in an array or in a list, and then choose a random one of those of that list, and choose that one to be the room. The second way is to just place all of the white rooms, so the rooms at the white pixels, and then on the rooms themselves have one of them be chosen for becoming a blue room, an artifact room. That would have the benefit that I wouldn't need to change the recognition, the color recognition, for which ways they connect, because at the moment you can see it checks. Okay, so if it's got a white pixel, you can see that it checks if the pixel above it is white and the pixel above it, no, the pixel above it is white and the pixel to the right of it is white, and then it checks if the pixel to below it is white and the pixel below it is not red. No, if it's not white, if it's not red. So if this statement as a whole is true and the pixel to the left of it is white, then it places it, this specific room, for all of the different combinations. If I did it so that the rooms themselves changed to one of them to be a blue pixel, blue room, then I wouldn't have to deal with changing all of this. The only issue with that is, how do I tell with the room that it's the room to do that? So I could do that maybe just by raycasting, although that could be a bit tricky. Well, not tricky, but a bit messy. Unless I put all of the rooms that I generate into an array. Each time I generate a room, each time I initiate, so instantiate a room, I put that room in an array, and then at the end, when they've all generated, then I choose a random one from the array, and then I give that room directly over the link the command, so we wouldn't need any raycasting. I think that's probably the best way of doing it. So, right, reading. Right. To keep it ambiguous, for example, the gender of the character you play as, to make it more universal. Well, it depends. It depends. So that can definitely be good in a lot of games. But in a game like this, for example, if I want the player to build, well, if I want to put more character into the character, like for example, if I do have spoken lines, then it's like the player picks up a thing and it's like, well, what's this thing then? Or something like that. Or, oh, well, doesn't that look appetizing? Or something like that. Then that can put a lot more... Also, I know you're laughing. So that can put a lot more character into the situation. But yeah, you're right. Having it to be universal, so by that do you mean to be more, so that it's equally easy for both genders to interpret themselves into the role? Is that what you mean? So make it have a neutral voice, that it could pass as both genders? No voice at all, I was thinking, and just have text. Yeah, that is an option. That's probably what I'll do anyway. Alright, gotcha. Vija is orange for me. For me is pink, I think. That rhymed. Terran artifact. So like an amphora, a grand piano, a lava lamp? I don't know yet. Maybe it will be specific things. So depending on where you find it, it could be a different thing. Title, Ghostly Progress in Progress. Title set. Stream title, Ghostly Progress in Progress. Nice. Aw. Try this T++? I always thought it was C++. No, it's C#. Try this. It must be really nice to be able to be productive on something you actively enjoy. Oh yeah, definitely. Probably. How are you all doing today? Yeah, but I mean, you have the same experiences with your books, for example. Yeah. How are you all doing today, Miss W. Shares Feature? Yes, I'm good. Good, thanks. Can't wait to have those 2 weeks off of school. Nice. That does seem very nice. Shares. So basically the blue pixel would mean that a room containing a Terran artifact would spawn on that position. Well, it would spawn the Terran artifact room, which I do want to have a specific set of rooms that can contain the artifact, so I can put things like puzzles in there. At that position? Oh, right. Alright. For cheating? Really? How would they use it for cheating? Well, if people either played it and they figured it out themselves, or if they watch the streams or whatever, if they just notice it, that room tends to spawn west and northwards, then if people were after a Terran artifact, well, there really wouldn't be any point of exploring the rest of the maze, because you know it's not going to be over in the east if there's a room further west than this room. What does the red pixel signify again? That is the entrance. Why would raycasting be messy? Because that would mean each room would need to have a big collider at the bottom, and then I'd probably send the ray from the bottom up. But then that can, I mean, depending on how big I make that could work, but it's a bit of a convoluted way of doing it. So it would mean I would have to get the pixel coordinates, flip them, extend them out so that they're in world space coordinates, then use the physics system to send a ray up to get that hit object, get the parent of that hit object probably, and then give the parent of the hit object a message to trigger a function to delete that room, well, to place the other room, the blue room, and then to delete the other room. And yeah, that if I, depending on how long I have the distance, you can also run into other issues where it's like, for example, if you have maybe a trigger that if something falls down, it gets teleported back up, or if there are effect triggers or things like that can get in the way, like for particle effects and things like that. Reading. Thanks for reading. Shanice, yeah, I guess that's what I meant by universal. And if there's a metaphorical meaning as well, easier for the players to apply themselves. Shanice, XDD, that example is hilarious. I was laughing, yeah, a bit. I think voice acting can be good, but if the character says something every time you pick a bit or bob up, it could get annoying. Well, if you pick a bob up, I think the character should really explain that. Yeah, someone named Bob I meant. Also, I think if it will have voice acting, I think having the gender be choosable would make it a bit more immersive. True. That is true. Although, the thing is, if this is a game that fits into the larger story, the larger connected universe of my different games, then it could be that there's a specific character that appears in other games that is this character, so that you can play this part of that character's backstory, for example. So maybe in some other game you can meet a traveler somewhere who speaks of dimensions he's visited and ghosts he's hid from and escaped from, all that stuff, which is then the player character of this game. If I make the character in this game customizable, then that connection won't be there, because it won't be the same character. So that's another thing to consider. At this point, I'm not sure how much I want to involve the player character of this game in the whole setting. I know how this game as a whole slots in. I don't know how much the player character will have to do themselves with other games. So yeah, and also the thing about that getting annoying, yeah, that is very true. It is very true. I do have the same experience with the books, but what I don't have is the time and the motivation for now. Yeah, I see. I mean, the time is definitely of the essence for me as well. Oh, right, puzzles, Charles. I'm a just lurk, got some work in Gmod to do. Oh, well, that's completely fine. Have fun with your work in Gmod. Alright, have fun/luck. Beecher. Yes, that's a good point. They might just be constantly saying stuff and the player might eventually just mute it. True, it wouldn't be that annoying, and because I know how annoying that can get. See ya. Kango. Coney. Canoe. Kango canoes for hire. XD. Yeah, that's true. Kango Fangui. And so was your XD. Yes, maybe the raycasting being messy and causing issues could be passed off as paranormal activity in the context of the game. Well, I think it would be passed off as bugs in the game, which it would be. So, yeah. Try this. Ooh, about the character thing. Yes. Okay, it's not a bug, it's a feature. Try this. Also, if you ever wanted another voice, raise hand. Well, yeah, good to know. Thank you for offering. However, if I did do that, then I would have to figure out all of the legal side of that, the contractual side about getting permissions to use those things for the right stuff, and how payment would be done, and for all of that I would really need to first get a better idea of how well games sell on Steam, depending on what marketing it is and all that sort of stuff. So raise his hand also. Tries no. W tagged Kango Fanu by accident, and I picked up on that. Oh, I see. Right. Where? Above. When I said Kango canoes and all that. Canoe. No, that was intentional. Read it again. Canoe Fano. Oh, I see. Sure, as for payment, there's all likelihood you wouldn't need to worry about that for key. For me, probably. Well, that's very nice, very good here, but I would still need to get that all sorted with a contract and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Right, so let's get to this. So, what do I need? I need the array. No, I need the list. Let's do it private. Well, yeah, let's do it private. So let's put up here. Well, like this. Let's do... Well, what will it be? If I'm sending a message, it would need to be a game object. Let's do game object. Placed... Oh, I've already got a placed rooms thing. Oh, where's that? Oh, that's probably a counter, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Wait, where is... 1 second. Placed... Yeah, it's an int. It's... Oh, I can't use that then. How about placed room objects? Let's make that a list. I need to make a list, actually, of that. So, list of type game object is equal to new list of type game object, and it's an object, so that's like that. And each time generates, although no, if I put these in there, then that won't work. So let's do transform, simply because I'm going to pass in the instantiation. So I need to do place, well actually, let's do space placed room objects dot add, and then the instantiation command as transform. Yeah, this is going to be annoying to work with on this scale, but that's okay. So let's just add this to all of these ones where it generates a room. Also quite easy to lose your place here if it's so zoomed in, but that's okay. That's wrong. Right, and up above, did I have any other one? No, that's good. So now I need to select the end bit, this bit, and paste that in here as well. So it actually converts it to type transform. I think that's it. So now this list should contain all of the rooms in the level. Now I need to find the right thing, which is after it's finished generating it. So it needs to be actually, oh, that's maybe not right, because it should highlight that. Oh, is there an error? Did I miss a bracket somewhere? Oh, I think I might have missed a bracket somewhere. So this is the opening one, it's the closing one. No, it should work. That's strange. Huh. Maybe it doesn't work for for statements. For for loops, sorry. That's okay. So let's go down here. And maybe it's the kind of brackets. Anyway, so let's go here and do a... Okay, we need to choose a random room. So let's do int r is equal to random.range between 0 and placed room objects dot, now it's a list, so it'd be count. Actually, is it capitalized? I think it's capitalized. It might not be. Is it count or count? I think it's capitalized. I should have that somewhere else here as well. No, that's counter, that's all the wrong stuff. Let's just try it. If it throws an error, then we'll change it. So, and then we need to select that room out of the list and give it a message. So how about, well actually let's do a comment here so I know what this is. So let's do place the artifact room. Well, no, let's do replace. Let's do replace into the artifact room. Right, and then let's do placed room objects index r dot game object dot send message. Let's do artifact room. That's the name of the function that we'll create, and then send message options. Don't require receiver. I hope I haven't misspelled that. Let's see what errors we get. 1 second. There we go. Oh, I don't think we're getting any. Oh, no, we do. Where is it? Oh, that's a lot. Cannot convert type void, the engine and transform via reference conversion, boxing conversion, unboxing. Right, so this is 55, 55, 61, 61. I'm guessing those are the instantiate things. Yeah. Actually, I might... If I put that in there, will that then work better? Ah, that's it. I just... I need to put it into the actual add clause, so to say. The add bracket, parenthesis. Not outside of it. Which makes sense. Yeah, I think I may have misspelled that. Okay, so let's quickly look it up. Or maybe it's message options. That could be it. Oh, the D. The D needs to be capitalized. That's the issue. Don't require receiver. Does that fix it? Yeah, that fixes it. That fixes it. Great. So, okay, so this is... That sends this message, so now I need to put a script on the rooms. They don't have a script yet, do they? I don't think they do. No, they don't. So let's just make a new script. Call it maze room. Open that up. And then let's do... Well, we need the function, so let's do public and function by that name, artifact room. And then I guess just delete it for now. So destroy game object. So just passing in, so destroy needs a game object to destroy, which happens after the end of the frame. So you can do destroy game object, and then that will remove this game the game object that this script is running on. If you can also put in a component, so you can actually, is it? I think it works well. So if you do destroy this, it will just remove this component, this script from the object. Like this will destroy the object. So let's see how that will. Oh, that's an error. Why doesn't that work? It should work. Maybe it's, I need this dot game object. Method must have a return type. That's odd. Why doesn't that work? Okay, let's have a look. Ah, I know why. I know why. It's not to do with this. This needs to be a public void. Of course, because it's a because of a method. Name game. All right. And that's misspelled. It needs to be game object, not game obejed. There we go. Now, can I select all of these rooms and put the script on them at the same time? I think I can. Yeah, that's worked. Great. So now it should remove one of the rooms. Let's see if we can see a gap. Ah, here we go. It worked. You can see this gap. These corridors now just go into nothingness, and that's because there was a room here, but this was the random room that it chose to remove. Let's give that another try. Well, let's maximize it first. Ah, now it's in this place. Now it's over here. Now it's back there. And now it's here. So yeah, this is working. That's nice. Yeah, I didn't work on the tiles either yet. I will do that in the future. So I think I'll generate one more maze so you can have something interesting to look at while I read chat. Oh, that's quite an interesting maze, I think. Maybe you can find the place where it has removed the room. Maybe if you look close enough. I need to actually make sure it's all on there so it's not behind my face cam. I think that should be good. Right, so Miss W, afterwards, you did do it intentional. The Kango Fangoui message from 2046. But did you really mean to tag Kango Fanu in your 2042 message? The one with yes, that's good. That's a good point. Gotta say, I did get the chance to work on a book today, and God, I've missed it. Ah, yes. I get that. Very nice. One, not one. Well, yeah, 'cause it was a reply to you. Oh, that sounds great. Ah, right. The storm had swept away the heap of soil and took the twister bunker with it. The citizens of the nearby cave were terrified and left without as much as a mere smear of a suspicion of who might have been behind the supposed natural phenomenon. Ah. It was of course, the Portuguese. Something like that. Rebook. Might be way off. Well, more sarky comedy, but and swearing, and not so offense. No offense. Well, more sarky comedy and swearing, and not so. No offense intended. Cheesy, but in terms of the setting, seems to be kind of similar. Ah. And it's swearing for effect, not just for the sake of it. Oh. And, alright, yeah, I thought it would be nice. You want an example? Oh, sure. Go ahead. Raise his hand through roof. Oops. Especially with a tornado or a twister going on. In other words, yes. That was meant for you anyway, Kango Fango. Yes. Oh, I meant oops because of the roof. It broke because I raised up my hand too high. Jokes aside though, wow, that's a lot of errors, should I? Well, it's because I had done the same mistake a lot of times. Hopefully you'll be able to iron them out. Yeah, it was basically just one error that was copied a whole bunch of times. Bye, Peter. I sent you a private message. You'll probably guess why. Thanks. Because you want to keep all the swearing to yourself and not in chat. Thanks. These streams aren't for kids though, so I think it should have been fine after all. Yeah. I mean, these streams are not meant for kids, so you can type that sort of stuff in chat if you really want to. I mean, for example, if it's an excerpt from your book, that's fine. Because that's not directed at anyone here. But yeah, so sure. I mean, it is 13 plus, so that's fine. True, but even so, it's the worst of its kind. Sharadise, I could message you what I just messaged Kango if you just couldn't stand the curiosity. Yeah, sure, go ahead, but not now. You can do it over Discord because I would probably not be able to read it now. I've got quite a lot to do with chat as it is. I guess, but I think Twitch wouldn't have noticed since it wasn't written out. There's, ooh, yay, sure it's right in the center, a bit towards the right. True. It's not Twitch I'm worried about. It's just such a kinda bad word, but I guess it helps to show the context that the protagonists find themselves in. Alright, yeah, I think it would have been fine. It does have context, and that helps a great deal. Sure, it's Portuguese? Of course, who else would be causing twisters? Out of nowhere with the Portuguese. I chose a random country. Right. So this bit works. It deletes the room that it needs to delete. Oh, okay. Where did that come from? Yeah. Right. And out of nowhere with the twisters. No, twisters is what Kango wrote. Right, so now let's put the room there that we need to put there instead. Let's actually just put the old room there in there for now. So if I go to maze entrance, not entrance, maze generator. So the artifact room, let's just put in the north, east, southwest old room, so it can be more easily identified. And then, oops, that's Blender. I've already opened it up so that if we do any modeling, I won't have to resize it, which could crash my computer again. Right, so actually we need to pass this a thing. So let's do a transform. Let's do room. And then here, actually that doesn't work because it's not a direct thing. Okay, so let's change this a bit. So instead of sending a message, let's just call the function straight away. That might be quicker. That might be quick anyway. So let's do a get component maze room dot artifact room, and then here, well, we need to first of all. Okay, so I'm going to do okay. No, that doesn't work. That doesn't do anything. No, so I need to, let's do int rb. Well, let's do rb is equal to random dot range. No, not random. Random dot range between 0 and Roman artifact set dot count, and this is then the index of the room that we'll need to use. So we're now calling the function without sending a message. So what send message does is it goes to an object, tells all of the scripts on the object, hey, if you've got a function that has this name, you call it. Getting a component and directly calling the function, you need to get a specific link to it and then call it from that place, which is what I'm doing now. I'm doing this so I can pass in a variable, which is the room it will need to instantiate. So because we've got the list of artifact rooms in this script, which is the maze generator, I need to choose a random one in this script, then get that specific prefab, that specific transform object, pass it to the maze room script on the room that is going to delete itself, so it knows that it needs to instantiate that room. So here I'm creating another integer, random 2 or rb, random b, beta, and then I'm choosing a random number between 0 and the maximum number of rooms we have in the list to choose from. And then here, when I'm calling the artifact room function on the maze room script, I can now pass it a variable. So let's do Roman room artifact set with index of RB. That's the room we want to place. So that is the one we'll pass, and then here it gets put into this variable. You can see artifact room, and then the data we're passing gets put into this variable, which is a type transform, type name room. So let's instantiate it. So let's do instantiate room at transform, nope, wrong kind of t, transform dot position and let's do quaternion dot identity. Identity. Yes, it's a bit hard to read when it's so big. Okay, that should be good. So this instantiates the room, so places it down. Have instantiate. Did I miss the N? Neon. There we go. Missed the N. Haha. Right. So yeah, and then it destroys this object. So let's see if that works. Oh, it's an error. Count. In line 143 up here. It's odd. Transform. Oh, did I accidentally? Oh, of course, it's not count. I need length, not count. Because this Roman room artifact set is not a list, it's an array, which is very, very similar, but it's more static. Which means you can't really change the length of it after you've initialized it. And that uses length instead of count. And you can see it works. You can see here, it's now placed this old room, which is the one I had previously with, so the placeholder one with the narrower doors. But you can see it's now placed it there. So now if I just do a couple more of these, we can see, everybody's easy now, it replaced the room that was there. And what I meant previously by just doing it modular blocking of the ways, it is, so basically, in this situation, so the texture that it uses to place the rooms, you know where it draws white pixels where it needs to place rooms? Well, that is a public variable, which means it will retain its value even after the function that uses it has run its course. If I had created that variable inside the function, it would get erased at the end of it. Because it's a public variable, which is in the sort of top level localization tier, so to say, or level, I can access that from other scripts. So I've generated the room here, so then this room, I'm probably going to put a script on there that will then access the texture of the maze generator, find its coordinates on the texture, and then check where there are rooms. So if there's a room to the top, it'll keep it open. If there's a room to the right, it'll keep it open. But if there's, for example, like this, if there's no room to the bottom, like in this case, it would just enable an object that puts a wall across here, so a wall across there, so that it blocks off that entranceway. Right, so I'll rechat and then I'll get back to it, as I suppose is the right thing to say in that case. Oh, that's a bit odd. You know what? Let's just give you a nice view. Might catch some gate spirits walking past or floating past, I guess. So no, I was talking about the twisters, yes, because, and out of nowhere with the twisters, hey, oopsies, no worries. Right. Also, I've just DM'd you the book. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, thanks. Can't check my Discord at the minute, but I will after the stream. Thanks very much. Yeah, don't worry about it. Oh wait, right, Kango, you've DM'd him the book. Ah, right. Okay. So, Shadows, what if the other object doesn't answer the call? Well, that doesn't matter because it doesn't require a receiver. So if it does require a receiver, the message, then it will throw an error if there's no object picking it up. If there's no object, if it doesn't do anything basically, if it just is unheard. If there's no script that has a function by that name, it will throw an error. If you say if you say don't require a receiver, then you can throw it at an object that has no scripts on it, except for transform probably, and it would still work. It doesn't care if it does anything or not, which is useful in a lot of cases. Let's call. Wait, you've misspelled it. It's quaternion, not quaternion. Yeah, it's it's not a list. It's an array. The second evolution of it's not a bug. It's a feature. Well, from an outside observer, probably, but actually no. No, it's. I get the joke because it sounds similar, but no, it's actually very, very different. You see, a list. So both are technically. So the word list itself, a list of stuff, does apply to both. They're both a kind of list. However, so meaning that it's a variable that has multiple entries to store data. So a single list or array could contain maybe 20 or 2,000 different entries of data. So a list, basically. Now, an array is much more static. When you initialize it, you can give it a length, which is how many elements it has, so how long the list is, and then you can write different information into those slots, which is very useful for stuff like what I'm doing with the rooms, where I'm going to put a lot of different variations of different rooms into an array that have the same entrances / exits. So that length of that array doesn't need to change. I'm not going to have 10 rooms one time and then I'm going to need to have 20 rooms the other time. No, because all the same amount of rooms, the same rooms. So that an array is great for that. Arrays also are used by a lot of other internal stuff. A list is much more dynamic. You can do more with a list. For example, to a list, there is a command where you can add something to the bottom. So you say you've got a list of 10 items, and then you can just do the list.add, and then add your value, and it'll just extend the list by one slot at the bottom, and put the value in that. You can also subtract stuff from a list, or get an index of something, or you can do a lot of stuff with lists that you just can't do with arrays, which is why lists are useful for situations where it needs to be dynamic. In this case, because it was a list, because it was the list I was using for rooms wasn't actually a list, it was an array. The variable, so they both have variables storing the data of how many indexes it has, how many elements it has inside of it, how long it is basically. For an array, it is the name of that variable is length. So you do array name.length. For a list, it would be list length, or whatever the name of the list is, list name dot count. So for lists, it's dot count. For arrays, it's dot length, which is why you can get them confused, especially in a situation like this, where right above it on line 142, it's basically the same thing, only here, placed room objects is a list because I need to add to it each time I place a room, so I'm using count. Over here, in the line below it, I'm getting an index from the variable that contains all the different rooms that I can place, which is an array, so I need to use .length. I just wrote it the same as up here because these two are basically the same thing, which is where I got the mistake from, which is why I made the mistake. So no, it's actually really not. It's not a bug, it's a feature. even though technically it is not a bug, it is technically a feature, but yeah, it's not the second evolution of that. But it does sound very similar, so I can see why. Yeah, okay. Well, I'd say the first is just an excuse, and the second is just a statement. Most of the time, anyway. But good shout. Cheers for the view, Shard Ice. Might catch some Dark Snatchers? No, there aren't any here. Well, there are, but not in the game. There are some behind you, in your room, but not in the game. Beautiful view this, with the mushroom guy in it too. Yes, I specifically did it so that the mushroom guy was not obstructed by the camera. So, Shades, yeah, DM'd me. Also, do you reckon we'll get to painting him today, Shades? Maybe, probably not. Footstepclips.add. Well, in that case, footstep clips would be a list, not an array. Can't wait to see the mushroom guy's rig and animations. Haha. Also, does it have a name? Not as an individual, but I did call it Hydeshroom, if you remember. Right, so now let's do the things where it blocks the walls. Okay, for this, I'm going to have to do this properly, aren't I? Yes, I am. So, I need to go into this room, well, the scene, put in the new northeast southwest room, so with the tiles, the modular thing I mean. I'll rename it to Roman Artifact Room 1. Make it a new prefab, an original prefab, so yes, original prefab. And, okay, so I need to, yeah, open the prefab, delete that, you create a few empty game objects. So create empty, this one is going to be north wall, south, well, no, let's do it the other way around. Let's do wall north. Oh, it threw the pointer out. South, no, wall south. Why does it keep doing that? Wall east and wall west. Let's arrange them in a sensible manner. So north, east, southwest. So going clockwise around. So these are all already positioned correctly. So right. Let's do north first, which is this way. So let's duplicate 3 of these walls, put them into north. Let's just remove the numbers like that. Right, and then I guess we can just, oh no, that would cause Z fighting. Well, I suppose I could do it like this, but then... No, I need to do it the other way. Need to, okay, duplicate that. Rotate it this way. Rotate it the other way here. And yeah, so something just like this, just blocking off one of the entrances / exits. So, and actually, no, I can just duplicate that, so that'll be fine. So I'll put that to there, that's already on pivot, so that's good. So now this is the wall north. Let's duplicate that, change it to wall east. And let's rotate it 90 degrees. Duplicate it again. Wall south. Rotate it to 180 degrees. Wall west. Let's rotate it to 270 degrees. So you can see, now they're all covered up, all the exits. And I guess I should probably also put an empty object just for a normal tile. So just normal walls. It's already zeroed. By the way, zeroing an object, or zeroing out an object, that refers to up here, you can see the transform, the position 0, 0, 0. Because if you instantiate an object, like for example, if I move the camera over here, and then I create an empty game object, it's going to have some weird coordinates here, because it puts the game object in the center of the view where the camera is. So if you zero out an object, it means selecting this, typing 0, pressing tab, typing 0, pressing tab, typing 0, to put the object at the world center, or where its parent is, which is called zeroing out an object. Although I haven't heard that in a while. That used to be used quite a lot in old Unity tutorials, but haven't heard it in quite a while. So that's this done. Because we were editing the prefab itself, it's already saved. I don't need to apply that. So now let's go back into the game scene. Save it, yes. And then in the maze generator, let's replace the old room with the artifact room 1. So now if I maximize this, that room should already be spawning. However, oh, that looks very nice with the grass swaying in the wind. Anyway, where is it? Where is it? Ah, there it is. Yeah, so you can see now this room is spawning here instead. Great. So now I just need to do the thing where it then where it doesn't, so it opens up the entrances that it needs to open up. So go back to the script. Actually, no, I need to create a new script. Actually, no, let's do maze room. Why not? So in maze room, it's basically the same thing. I can just do a bool. So let's do, oh no, let's do an enum. So let's do public enum, which is short for enumerator, room type. Then we could have different types there. So let's just do normal, entrance, and artifact. And then we can do a new variable. So of the type of that enum. So we can do a variable public of type room type. Well, let's do room types. So because that's better. Room types, and then name it room type. And if I go here and click on the object, where is it? There we go. You can see now this script on the object has a variable called room type with normal, entrance, and artifact, which are the 3 that I've put up in here. And this is the variable, by the way. So I could make a loads more. So I can, for example, I could copy this one and call this room type 2. Go back, and now you can see. Oh, didn't that work? Or is that an error? Did I select the right thing? Ah, it just I don't know why. What happened? So now you can see we've got 2 variables which have the same 3 things. That's basically what enums are. Well, like this anyway. You can do more with them, but this is basically what I use them for. So now, let's do start. So void start, which is the first frame that this object, this script runs on. There's also awake, which is slightly different. So, right, start. What to do? Right, I need a reference to the maze generator because I need to access the texture so I'll know where I'm placed. So let's do a private variable first. So let's do maze generator. Let's call it maze generator. And you can write it out, so you can write private like this. But if you just leave it blank, it defaults to private. So it's just a little bit of shorthand, really. Right, so in start, we first need to find it. So we can easily do that by doing maze generator is equal to, is it game object.find object of type, or is it find object? I think it's game object.find object of type. The type we're looking for is maze generator with a capital M. Then once we've got it, we need to get the texture? Well, we need to reference it actually. Well, first of all, we need coordinates. So let's see. What would be the easiest way? Should I? Right, so how does this work? It takes it takes the position, halves it, then times it twice by 20, then halves it times by 20, so it should just be that. No, because that's different. I see. Well, let's just do a positions thing as well. So let's also give a list of positions. It's just vector 3, that should be fine. Vector 3, placed room object positions. Just so we know where to check on the texture. So actually, wait a minute. All right, let's just do it here. So okay, after we place this room, we need to do. Actually, no, we don't need to do it there. No, we don't need to do it there because this all runs if it places a room. Which specific room it places doesn't matter, because we only want the coordinates, and the coordinates are outside here. So we can do it, we can put it here. So if the pixel we're currently at is white, then we just need to do placed room objects positions dot add. Should it be vector 3? No, it should be vector 2. It should be vector 2 because of the 2D texture. There are 3D textures, by the way. I've never used them, but they seem very interesting. So add new vector 2 of position X and Y. Why? Because we need it. And then here, when we pass the transform, we also need to pass thing. Right, of course. Placed room objects positions of index R. So these two are synchronized because here it uses the value of R, which is the random number of the rooms that we have, and uses that as an index to see which room we replace, and then it uses the same value to look up the coordinates. So now we pass both those things. So now here we need to put in another variable for it to be passed to. So let's do vector 2. Let's call it position. And then here, actually that's but that won't work. Actually, no, will it? It will work, but I need to pass it. Also, this thing we can put in an if statement. This will only need to find the maze generator if this is indeed an artifact room. So let's do if room type is equal to room types dot artifact. Yes. So here we instantiate the artifact room, which also has a maze room script on it. So we need a variable to store that in so we can pass it. So let's do, well, we can't do that really. It needs to be public variable. So well, let's put it there. Well, yeah. So let's do public vector 2 pos on texture. Why not? And then here we need a new temporary variable. So let's do because we need a reference to the object, to the new room that we instantiate, so we can give it the position so it knows where to look up on the texture, so it can see which rooms are white, so it knows which walls to put up, or to put down rather. Still not sure how I want to go about doing that. We can do it either way. Anyway, this needs to be a transform type. So transform T is equal to instantiate the room as a transform, same as before. And then after that we need to do t.gameObject.get component. We need to get the component of maze room, which is the script that will be on the room that we've just placed, the one containing the which will contain the artifact. And then we've got it. We've got the component. And then we need to change. Well, we need to set the position really. So dot pos on texture. Oops, that was wrong. Pos on texture, which is not this instance of the script's variable. It is this variable of the instance of this script which runs on this object that we've just instantiated. So pos on texture is equal to pos. So basically this function gets called. We get data, we get the room, the prefab we need to spawn, and the position that room is going to be at. Now we don't need the position to place it, well, the position that the room is at on the texture, I should say. Then we create a new variable of type transform and create the room and store a reference to this new object inside this variable. Then we go to that variable, get the component maze room on that new instantiated object, get the variable pos on texture, which is that object's instance of this variable, and set it to the value of pos. So then we will have the position of where that room is on the texture. Then we destroy this room. Now, let's just imagine we've now finished with the room the white room it's placed. Now we're on the blue room's instance of the script, the artifact room's instance of the script. So we go into start. The room type is correct. It is an artifact room, so it goes into here. It finds the maze generator. Then we need to compare the textures. So, if, actually let's do a little space there. It makes it more easily, I mean, it makes it easier to recognize stuff. More accessible, I would say. Less cluttered, that's what I meant. So, if, now we need to have a look at, well, let's do north first. So, if the pixel on the texture of the maze generator above the pixel that this room is at is white, we need, well, let's do if it's, should we have them on or off? I'd say on the start. So we need to check if it's white, and if it is white, we need to turn it off. Okay, so if maze generator dot, what was it called? I think it was just called maze thing. Maze gen map. Dot maze gen map dot get pixel at pos on texture dot x pos on texture dot y plus 1 is equal to color dot white. And yes, I'm typing it this way because this is, Unity uses the American type version of that word, so it is without a U. So if the pixel above us is white, then we need to, well, we need all of the stuff first. So let's do a quick array. Public game object let's do blocking walls. Let's make this into an array like that. And so this will be just, it will go clockwise. It'll be north, east, south, west. So if there is white above us, a white pixel, it means we will need to unblock the entrance going up. So then we'll do blocking walls of index 0, which is the first one, which is north, dot set active false. Right, now we need to do this just a couple more times. So now if the pixel to the right of us, actually no, I will, no, I need to invert this. I will probably need to invert this because the texture is being read the other way. Sorry, I need a little bit of water. 1 second. And a little bit more. Right, but that's fine, I can do that later. So this one is for east, so we need index 1. Then this one is going to be for south, so -1 there, which is index 2. And then west, which will be -1 here, which is index 3. Right. So now I just need to make sure those are assigned and it's got the correct type. So, oh, there are errors. Can convert float to int. Maze room number 26. Where is it? Where is that? 26. Pixel. Ah, of course, because it's a vector 2. It's, oh, I see. Of course. How did I solve that problem over here? Let's have a look. Oh, I didn't have to. Well, instead, okay, well then, in that case, let's just do math f dot, doesn't really matter, let's do floor. Let's see if that fixes the issue. Because that should convert it to, okay, so that is not, oh, it's still 26. It's still 26. Maybe, is there 2 int, maybe? Oh, math f does, oh, it doesn't contain that. Okay, let's just look for it. Unity, well, yeah, unity float to int. There we go. Oh, as int. Or that, cast it as an int. Maybe you can just cast it to an int. Maybe it's as simple as that. So let's just try like this, int. Ah, that seems to have worked. It's now gone over to the next line, so I just need to replace them on all of these ones. So basically what it's doing here is it's saying, okay, the value we're putting in here is of type int, and then we put in the value, which means that we're essentially trying to fit a float into an int, which means it just cuts off the back, the decimal point, or the floating point, I guess, since it's a float. Anyway, so now let me reselect this object. You can see also there was a reason why up here with the enum I put normal as the first one, because this is the default one it chooses. So all of these rooms here are all normal rooms, which means I don't need to change them. So only the artifact room, I need to change the room type to artifact. We don't need entrance at the moment, but I just added it so if we need later, we have it. Pose and texture, we don't actually need to change this. It's just showing up here because it needs to be public, so we can, it should be public, it might not be, need to be public, but it's fine, it's fine, don't worry. Right, blocking walls, we need to do this on the prefab, so open up the prefab. I need to, so north is the first one, so I'm just going to grab that object, put it in there, then east is the next one, south, then west. So if you go in here, we've got these 4 walls, which correspond to, so element 0 is north, east, southwest. And I think I will need to invert the coordinates, at least on the x-axis. Let's see how it does, how it works. Oh, there's an issue now because... yeah, you can see it is working-ish, but you can see it's opening up on the wrong side. So let's just see if I invert these. So instead of this being a positive, a +1, -1 there, then a +1 there, and a +1 there. So now let's see, that should fix it. Although, alright, so yeah, in this case you can see it has fixed it. So you can see there's the room, we come in here, it's open on all these three sides, but this side it's closed where there is no room on the other side. Let's just do a couple more tests. It's a bit difficult to tell which room it is, if it's got access on all sides. For example, it could be this room, because it's got access on all sides, there is no difference, but no, it isn't. You can see here, it's only opened up this side and this side, but it's blocked, it's kept these two blocked off. And the reason why I did it like this, so that it has to open them up instead of blocking the ones that are basically leading to nowhere, is so that when I put decorations and stuff in these rooms, I will be able to see what it looks like if there is no way in from that side. So that's easier to work with from that side. Let's just do a couple more tests just to see if there is any issue with it. Where is it? It's back here. This is the same orientation, so we already know this will work. This one here. Again, the same orientation. This one's a bit of a different orientation. That's okay. And that's okay. Okay, so now we've had a look at all of them, and it does work. It works correctly. That's nice. That's really nice. Really very nice. Okay, so let's just give you another nice visual while I read chat. Might not be too much of chat to read, I think. Well, a little bit of different visual, maybe. Well, this might be quite nice with a valley, well, with the hills going down there. Maybe if I zoom in a little bit, maybe that'll make it nicer. Just sort of like this, maybe. There we go. Right, so. Oh yeah, true, forgot that, because of the name of the mushroom guy. Shroom, yes, Shroom. It just disappeared, XD. What do you mean? But good that it works. What disappeared? Trace. But wouldn't it better clearer? Wouldn't it be better? Wouldn't it better clearer and less confusing if the private was added? It depends, I guess. I think that I would have typed it out, but it doesn't really matter. Yeah, well, I actually think it's the other way around, because if you see a black word in front of the variable, it means it's public, basically. So you can recognize, okay, these ones have a word, these ones just go in right with the type, so these are private. In my mind, that makes it more clearly visible, because public and private could look quite similar, just at a glance, but if it's just the words completely missing, it's, I think, a bit clearer. I see, why was that joke funny? We'll never know. Oh, look at that, there's a gate spirit. I still like them. I'm glad I added them. They look so alive, don't they? Ugh, right. It's a vector 2. Oh, math.schlurp. Math.schlurp? It worked! Yay! Oh, it cuts it off. Oh, right. Yeah, well, it's supposed to cut it off, because the thing is, the positions of the vector 2, because it's getting the coordinates of the texture of the pixels, it's always going to be a number dot 0. It's never going to have a decimal point anyway in the first place. It's just because it's a wrong data type, it didn't fit into it. Like the value didn't fit into the box that it was trying to fit it in. So I just had to tell it, okay, treat this as though it's an int. I cast it as an int, which means it just used the first thing. It didn't use the bit decimal point, and there wasn't a decimal point. It was just 0.0 anyways. So, right. All right. Does that mean that some dungeons or mazes might have multiple entrances / exits? Probably not. However, I did put entrance in there in case I need the entrance room to do some special stuff, which I may need to do in the future. So I just kind of future-proofed it a bit. Right. Great to hear, Shadice. Yeah, it is great to be able to hear. I'm very glad that I can hear. It is very great to hear. That it works. Oh, it's great to hear that it works. Oh, I see, yes. Oh, this is brilliant. This is. Screenshot it for the thumbnail. I don't think I can because I'm zoomed in. I don't think screenshots work like that, or do they? Actually, it might work. Does that work? I can do a test. Oh, I even got the little gate spread on. I'll do another test without one. Although, don't when it's zoomed in. Zoom out and then screenshot it. Alright, so it doesn't work when it is zoomed in. Let's zoom in, zoom out very, very gently. Like that, and then let's do it like this. Yeah, maybe. Well, maybe we'll do it again when the gate spread's a bit closer. I like how the gate spread illuminates the grass as well. I think that should be fine. Let me just zoom in for you again so you've got a better view. A better view? Yes, a better view. Maybe. Won't really show what was done today, but still. Yeah. Trace, the script disappeared because it selected a different object. Oh, I see. Just disappeared. Alright, yeah. Trace, alright, clever. Alright, clearer. Alright, clearer, right. Yeah, gate spirits look wonderful. Oh, thanks. Trace, hey, you've got my last message from 2135. Oh, for some reason that's not on. Why isn't that on? I can't see the time. Should be in chat settings. 1 second. Pause chat, pop out, delete messages, chat appearance. Chat appearance. There we go. Why was that off? That was strange. Maybe cookies got cleared. From when? 2135. Okay. Alright. Be funny. And that joke would have worked a whole lot better if there was a v-axis too. Yes, I see. Well, you could say that either the z or y-axis is the v-axis if v stands for vertical. Future-proofing is great. Yeah, it is. Trace, Command Shift 3. True. Screenshot would work with the zoom, I think. Oh, well, I did both, but the Command Shift 4 one doesn't. Oh, I see. I thought that you could zoom in on it in post-process. True. Oh, yes, that's true, Charles. Right. And with that, we've actually come up on the end of the stream. We might actually end on time for once. So end this. Close this. Might as well reset this, that's fine. There we go. I've realized I've slid further down my chair. Anyway, so end already. Alright, thank you for the stream. Yeah. Right, so thank you for watching, all of you. So, the other thing is, yeah. With this project, the plan was that I can work on it off stream for most of it, and then just do kind of progress updates as I'm working on it. But I just don't have the time at the moment to work on this project because I'm so busy with my other projects. So we'll see if it. I mean, for today, I think it was okay. I was a little bit worried because I hadn't done anything off stream, but I think it worked out okay today. So, well, we'll see if this keeps up. Then that should be fine. Although it does mean that will take a long time. If I'm only working 2 hours on it per week, it will take a long time to finish that game. Which means that it may not be feasible. We'll see how it goes. But that was clear from the beginning. That was clear from the very beginning of when I started this project. I said that I'm gonna try it, see if I can work off stream on it as well. And if I can, if that all works out, then if the project can get finished in a reasonable amount of time, then that's good. Anyway, that's not something to worry about now because things may change quite a lot very soon. So, right. All right. Thank you for the stream. Right. It was very nice. Thank you. Hello, Mr. B. Thanks so much. 2 hours goes by way too fast. It does. Depends on what you're doing, though. True. All right. That's fair enough. Fair enough. Wong time. Yeah. True. But yeah. Sure. Let's not worry about that now. You're not abandoning this project, I hope. No. I'm not abandoning it. No. I'm not abandoning it. It's just because I know I'm just saying because of the streams. Because time is quite precious, and at this point specifically, I really need to focus. I really need to be careful about what I invest the time into, because of monetary reasons. I need to focus on projects that have potential to be the most profitable of the options. And that means that I need to put time into the things that can be finished reasonably quickly. So yeah, that's a thing. At the moment, for the last couple of weeks, I just didn't have the time to put into this project off stream, and if I continuously can't do that, if I just don't have the time to put into this project off stream, then, well, sure, it'll be fun developing it just like this. The thing is, if it's not getting attention online, if these streams are not getting attention online, then I'm just basically doing this for fun. Because it won't contribute to it won't really contribute money-wise, because it would just take way too long to finish to really be of value there. And if it doesn't grow the audience either, then it would just be for fun. So we'll have to have a look at that. Because, I mean, it may change when Living Art is updated. Like I said before, when I advertise Living Art, when I do all of that stuff, maybe people will also have a look at the streams, and I'll maybe get a game dev crowd as well, not just the Trains crowd, which my crowd is mostly at the moment. So yeah, one thing I have been thinking about is if this doesn't pick up, if I can't find the time to work on it offline, and if it also doesn't draw in a crowd, then maybe I can switch it out for another thing. Maybe. I really wouldn't want to do that because I don't want this project to become paused, so to say. But I was thinking maybe if there are, like, maybe just tiny games. Just small games, just work on tiny games. So maybe just, I don't know, maybe some more level-based games, like maybe first-person platformer games or puzzle games. First-person puzzle games are quite easy to do. So just a basic premise for a puzzle game, for a first-person puzzle game, then work on that. Although puzzle game might not be the best, because then I would be spoiling the solution to the puzzle, so I then would need to work off stream as well, so that you wouldn't know all the solutions to it. So maybe not a puzzle game, maybe a more reaction-based game. But anyway, I'm just losing myself in thought at the moment. So, yeah, that is something to consider in the future. But yeah, anyway. Not too much, at least. Alright, don't worry about that now. Not too much, at least. Nah, I wouldn't say so. Good, thank goodness for that. Yeah, especially with you streaming 5 days a week. Yeah, that is very true. Very, very true. Right. That too. Yeah, because it is a lot, and it does take a lot of time. It does take a lot of time. And yeah. The thing is, if I was thinking about dropping something, the stream that I would drop, if I were to drop one, would be the Wednesday stream, because that one is purely for fun. The thing is, that is a time period where I get to play Transport Fever 2, which I don't really play that many games, just normally, because I'm focusing on my projects a lot. So having that little time in a week just to play a game, which I really love playing, and then having people be able to watch that and being able to do it together with my friends is a very nice thing. So I really don't want to get that one off of the list. And then you've got Tears and RCT3, which is, well, that is another, well, RCT3 not so much, but Train Simulator is another big part of what people keep here. But anyway, yeah, the thing is that, yeah, Train Simulator, a lot of people, quite a few people do watch that. And I think that that is also a thing through which people can find my channel. Because if people are looking at if they want to buy a certain route for Train Simulator DLC, they look on YouTube, put the name of the route in, then my stream could come up. And I think that for a thing like this, a stream is very useful, so you can see a large part of the route and what it's like to actually drive on it. So I don't really want to drop that. And for RCT3, that's more of a misc thing, which I want to use to, when RCT3 is finished, to kind of do lots of different games, so that I have potential to kind of grab into different audiences that might then stick around. So, and trains I can't cross off because, well, I need those streams to finish the Milton Valley Railroad because I'm only working on them on stream. So we're at the situation that we're now. But yeah, it is a lot. It is definitely a lot. But I also find it a lot of fun, so that is important. It does still, of course, take a lot of time. Anyway. Okay. Didn't mean to go on about that for so long. That too. Rather than 4 like last time. That's 10 hours a week. Wow. That never really occurred to me. Yeah, although it's actually more because we basically run overtime for most of them. For a little bit anyway. Post the stream link in the then created r/Sharadise, maybe? Well, if I did do that, yes. However, on Reddit, but I'm not sure how many people would find me there. Maybe, if it shall exist. Sharadise, I am part of a few other Discord servers, so I can let them know if you want, when it's out. Oh, well, I mean, yeah, I mean, any advertising would be very welcome. Of course. Yes, that would be very nice. First-person puzzle game, so basically Ghost Adventure. No, I meant more a level-based one. A level-based first-person puzzle game. So I mean where it's pre-made, not where there's so much random generation and stuff like that. So where there's a pre-made level that you, like, a bit like Through With You. That's got levels, it's pre-made, it's a first-person puzzle game. Anyway, yeah, the Transport Fever and TS and RCT streams are just for fun and aren't really productive. Yeah, well, Train Simulator is, I would say, a bit productive because, like I said before, basically just go back in the archive a bit, listen to what I said before, then skip forward past this sentence, because otherwise you'll just be in an infinite loop, and then continue listening to this. So, right. Sharadise, and 310/300 hours a month. Oh, 310 300 hours a month. Oh, of Shardice streamage. Miss W, true. Within the context of the game, sure, it is productive, but outside of it, that's true. Dig into different audiences. Grab into different audiences, I meant. With the misc slot. Yes, of course. Just shovel them all up out of those games communities. Well, yes, definitely. Shanice, yeah, sure. And you'll have at least 2 customers in me and Kango. Yes, that is true. However, 2 customers is not in. The thing is, even though I don't need to. Well, actually, I do. But the thing is, the time it takes to make these products is its running costs. Each day that I spend making a product, I need money for stuff. And if I intend to make a profit from these games, the total amount of profit after Steam takes its share needs to be greater than the expenses during the time the product took to develop. Which means that putting time into stuff that takes a really long time to make isn't that advisable in this case. So, Shanice, I would say Reddit would be a grand idea. I think you should definitely post the game's Steam link in other subreddits and your own. You could then link the Reddit account with a Discord one and also link it in your YouTube videos, and I think it would magnet up a lot of people. Yes, I am definitely going to use subreddits on Reddit. But however, I think with that, only 1 in every 10 posts or something like that is allowed to be an advertising thing. So I think I heard that somewhere. I think at a GDC talk. I think only 1 in 10 is allowed to advertise a thing of your own. So you just need to post a lot of stuff there so that you can then post ads or for your things. I think that's how it works. I will, of course, need to make sure before I start working on that. So, true. All right. Probably depends on the subreddit, to be honest. I'm not sure. It might be in the user license agreement that you agree to when you make an account. Anyway, doesn't matter. Oh, maybe you're right. Anyway. So, and the rules. Probably right. All right. Or maybe sideways. So, thank you all very much for watching. Just shout out at the end, Kango Fango, streams on Sunday, building in OMSI 2 and Trains, as well as driving in Train Simulator and American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator 2, right? As well as also check out, if you're watching, it's probably watching from because of Trains. So usual thing at the end, there are some Trains routes on the DLS, the download station, that are really good. You should have a look at them. One is Central Europe, another one is Cornish Railways. So, with that, bye. True, thank you for the shout out. Of course, you deserve it. So does your stuff. Bye, yes. So with that, this stream will be archived. And there was one more thing I wanted to say. What was it? Oh, right, I remember now. Bye. See you tomorrow for the Friday Train Simulator R33 20 to 22 slot. Yes, indeed. Bye. Oh, that's not the thing I wanted to say, but now I've said it anyway. So, I guess I could just wave like this, but that might be a little bit disconcerting, so I'll just wave like this. Right, so, bye.